You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
This is the Daniel Monday Night Community Show on demand through YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing to listen to us through this method. If you'd like to keep up to date with when I add new interviews, then subscribe to this channel. This is 95.6 BRFM, the Isle of Sheppey's very own community radio station. I'm Daniel, this is the Monday Night Community Show, and now it's time to hear some interviews I did on the telephone to cover the Archbishop of Canterbury visiting the Oasis Academy here on the Isle of Sheppey. I spoke to some of the students, but before that I caught up with the Academy's chaplain. This is what he had to say when I spoke to him.
So I'm the Academy chaplain, and my role in Oasis is to support the spiritual needs of all the students and staff at Oasis. But I also work a couple of days a week for the Church of England, so I go into the primary schools doing assembly and mentoring and support of all staff and students of every school across the island. Now, today's been really important because the Archbishop is spending the week in the Sittingbourne Deanery. And so it's really important for the Archbishop to come to us today. It's a real privilege because it's Holy Week for Christians around the world. And the Archbishop of Canterbury is the leader of 85 million Anglicans around the world. So it's a real privilege for him to be with us this morning. So the Archbishop came with Steve Chalk, who's the founder of Oasis. He came from London just to be with us this morning. And the morning started with Archbishop and Steve taking a tour of the academy. So we visited most of the school, we spoke to staff and students, and came across as a very relaxed individual, very interested. We stopped off at the Haven, which is a prayer space in the school that staff and students can use when they just need a few moments quiet and peace. And then he came and had coffee with head teachers, primary school students, and local dignitaries, including our MP, Gordon Henderson. After that, there are 20 minutes questions from a number of our students at the academy, and no punches were pulled, I think, on a number of the questions. He was a bit surprised that I think the media were there, but it was a very honest time, and it was fantastic for him to be honest and open and very relaxed with all of our students. Responding to the questions that he had not been set. So it was literally nothing off limits, and we bombarded him with questions for 20 minutes. Following that, he led us in a time of prayer, and the primary school students and students from the academy also said some prayers. Before he left, we had the opportunity to give him some gifts and then send him on his way to Sittingbourne. And so we've had a fantastic morning with the Archbishop, and it's been a real privilege and pleasure to have him here at the start of this Holy Week.
So has he done this before in other areas at this time of year, or is this something new? And why did you decide to come to this area?
So being the Archbishop of Canterbury, he is the Bishop of the Canterbury Diocese in which the Isle of Sheppey falls. And so I believe it's tradition that he goes to a deanery, so it's a small part of the diocese every year. So he will spend this whole week in the Sittingbourne Deanery. I don't know exactly what his plans are, but I think he'll be on the island 3 or 4 more times doing various bits and pieces, talking to individuals, normal people, and also perhaps leading prayers and services as well. So I think he always comes back to the diocese, back to the Canterbury Diocese, during Holy Week in the week leading up to Easter, and that's probably the tradition. And this year he's chosen the Sittingbourne Diocese.
Now I understand that the students were asked in some questions. Did you sort of work with the students ahead to sort those questions out, or were they sort of questions they were asked in almost off the cuff?
So all the questions were asked by students. All the questions came from the students. We spent a little bit of time a couple of weeks ago composing. And I really said we've got one of the most influential, famous Christians in the world visiting us. And we talked about what the Archbishop did and how important he is to many Christians around the world. And we were told that nothing was off limits. And so we spent a little bit of time composing some questions, and we had 12 or 15 students in the lecture theatre really bombarding him with questions. It was a fantastic time, and he was able to respond quite thoughtfully, and it was a real pleasure and privilege to have spent time with him. So he didn't have any knowledge about what the questions were, and they were all set by the students. Yeah.
Now, I understand you got some of the students that asked those questions with you, and I think they were going to talk to me a little bit about that and that experience.
Yeah, I've got three students, three post-16 students here. So we've got Amanda, we've got Ewan, and we have Goda. And Ewan is probably going to go first because he's looking at me.
Okay.
Do you want me to pass you over?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Here's Ewan. Hello.
Hello. So I understand you got to ask some questions to the Archbishop of Canterbury. What was that like? And sort of, did you think ahead about the question you wanted to ask, and why did you ask that question?
Well, considering he was such an influential man, I felt it was important to prepare, and you felt a great deal of respect in the way that he would answer you, because you could see that he really took his time to carefully answer your question and to make sure that you felt that he cared about what you said, which was nice. I mean, I asked him, if you had a calling from God, how do you convince people of it? And he gave a really thoughtful answer in the sense that he told you about his experiences and how it affected him. And it made you feel closer to the way that he experienced God. And, well, yeah, it just worked better, I think.
So how did you come to be the selection of students that asked him the questions? Was it something you volunteered for? Were you part of a group that, or part of a lesson that happened to do that?
I think it was more that we were asked to do it because it was more like a random selection that we'd pick students that thought that would maybe have an opinion about God, or if ever more so, just an average student who may not have one. And it was an interesting experience to allow a different variety of people to come forward and ask their questions.
Okay, yeah, if you could pass me over to the next person, that'd be good.
Hello?
Hello, who am I talking to now?
Goda.
Okay, what was your experience like of asking the question to the Archbishop of Canterbury?
I really did enjoy the meeting with someone so important, because obviously you don't get a chance to meet someone as big every day. So I thought my question, as I've asked him, what is his opinion about equal marriage, was pretty big. And the way he answered was really thoughtful and interesting, because he did look at different religions and what other people think. So he didn't give me an accurate answer, as he didn't want to offend others, as there was media people around, which I did find it quite interesting and thoughtful.
Now, speaking at the moment, I understand it was almost a relaxed atmosphere. Did it feel relaxing speaking to him, or was it still quite a nerve-wracking thing to do?
No, I did think that when he's going to enter the room, I did think it's going to be a bit intentional and awkward, but his reactions at questions and the way he was communicating with students was really, really relaxed, which made others feel relaxed and feel confident about asking the questions that they were interested about. Hello?
Hello, who am I speaking to now?
Amanda.
Okay, so what was it like for you asking the question?
I felt by his presence as he came into the room, and his confidence and the way he was really chilled out. I found asking him my question, which was, what do you think happens when we die? I felt confident in asking that question, and he gave me a very considered answer. He told me he knew what happened.
So very thoughtful, it sounds like, speaking to you and some of the other students.
Yeah, he was very confident in answering the question. He was very happy to. All questions were off limits, so I felt that was really well respected, and I felt it was very generous of him to give us that opportunity.
Well, I suppose it makes it easier to ask the question if you feel the person is open and happy to answer it, I assume.
Yes, he's a very genuine man.
Okay, could you pass me back to Paul, I think it was I was speaking to.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Hello.
Hello. Well, it was certainly interesting speaking to the students. Was there anything else you wanted to add?
I'm just really, really privileged that the Archbishop was able to make time in his busy schedule today, but also I'm exceptionally proud of all of our students, not just at the Academy, but the primary school children as well. They read very well, they listened very well, and it just goes to show what a fantastic group of young people we have here on the island. So I'm really, really privileged to be part of today.
Well, I'd like to thank you very much for talking to us here at BRFM and giving us the chance to cover this.
Thank you very much indeed, Daniel.
Thank you.